Lower prison is pretty important because as you walk in, you do gain access to a new suite of support gems, often represents a huge power spike for your character. Now we have access to added fire support, which does give us a flat amount of our physical added as fire, and thankfully, Holy Flame Totem has flat fizz that then gets converted in the back end, so using added fire takes the chunk out of the front end and adds it to the back, so we get the most bang for our buck. Alternatively, added lightning is flat lightning. Combustion has more to do with fire ignition, and life tap, it does other things as well. So we're going to take added fire. It's a pretty big damage boost. Now, can we hit the right colors we want on this wand? I want to hit blue, blue, red. Blue, blue, red first try. I lied, it's blue, red, red. Ooh, I've memed on myself. That's okay. We have to hit blue, red, red. That's a little harder.
Still alive.
Maybe he's selling some blue, red, red for us. Or red, red, blue, that's what I mean. I keep saying the wrong one, but that's the right one. I would lose my body armor, but I'd gain a third link. I think it's worth it. We're going to take that.
Farewell.
Hope we hit a good trans. Sure. Okay, we've gained a big chunk of damage. To see the actual amount, 78.8 becomes 92. Alright, we're in the prison, which does have some interesting activities. Number one, it's got the first lab trial, which I believe we have to do all 6 of, even in hardcore. There's a combatant with literally negative gear, but he's got a sapphire ring, and I want that sapphire ring. So we're going to take that sapphire ring, because that's a huge amount of resistance I want. Wow, he has killed our mercenary near instantly. That is good to know. This guy's angry. There's our sapphire ring. We are very much not going to pay for our mercenary to come back because she's just overstayed her welcome, unfortunately, gear-wise. She's too low level. We're in too high of a zone. We're just going to be down a mercenary for a little bit, and that's okay. We're kind of strong enough now that we could walk around and just place our totem and clear rooms, which is exactly where we want to be. Very unfortunate, rare necromancer is stuck against the wall here, and he does not do enough damage to even get past my life regen. Boink. Ooh, rare boots. Maybe some movement speed? Nope, but they've got life, so I'll take those. Alright, we got 2 points. I want to save up 2 so I can just get the double buff. So 92.2 plus Light Divinity plus Holy Dominion equals 115. Huge. Plus 15 all res, so I'm feeling, or 12 all res, feeling a little bit better. These lab trials are a series of traps and, tribulations that you have to overcome that typically introduce a mechanic. This one's the spikes on the feet. And it's about tempering how much you want to run before hiding into a little duck spot. You could tank it. The damage isn't that substantial. It won't kill you. I'll just show what it looks like. There you go. So, a third of my life down. But you don't want to typically eat that in hardcore if you can take an extra 2 seconds and just not have to deal with it. These are the alternating spike traps, but with a movement skill you could just skip all of it because movement skills are great. I do have 2 rares to fight up here, which is... Oh, there's a first unique. It's a silver branch, which is a bow. It's not a very good bow, even for leveling. It's yeah, it gives gem levels and some minor benefits, but yeah, not a substantial drop, unfortunately, as our first one. There are many good early leveling uniques, and that is not one of them in general, and not for us. It does give +1 socketed bow gems, but yeah, we don't care about that. There's our first lab trial. We have 1 of 6 now done. Hit the portal to go back to the beginning, and we could keep on keeping on. Alright, on to the upper prison where Brutus resides. Now there is in here a chemist chest, which is like a box that has just flasks. They used to be in the base game, but they removed them many years ago. And these hidden walls you could see on the minimap. There's another mechanic introduced through Labyrinth, doing lab trials. But you learn to find that there's normally a switch in a wall nearby, and you could kind of just toss your mouse around to find it. So there's the switch, you could see it, and now we know that there's the box in here. And you gotta be wary that rare strong boxes do come with the ability to freeze you as one of the affixes. So we're gonna place our totem here first, and then click it. This one does not have freeze. It does have caustic ground, which is it's a good thing we walked away. And it's going to drop us a bunch of little flasks. Which we're not really concerned about. More we just like, the benefit. So we're going to take the Quicksilver and the large flask. Those are the good ones there. And grab a medium mana because I can. Large, boom, and I'll put the Quicksilver on eventually. I need it right now. Swapping your flasks while leveling is very, very important. It's something people just don't do enough, especially in hardcore. There's a lot of benefit from having updated flasks to the zone you're at. Here's Sawbones, which is a unique necromancer that does nothing but necromancer things. We hit a coral ring. That's something. I'll take it. It's an amount of life, sure. A strong box, caustic ground. This necromancer has wandered off so far. Alright, on to the warden's quarters to fight Brutus. Alright, now, Brutus is, like, kind of spooky. They've made him harder over the years, but he's not really that hard. We're just going to play Ring Around the Rosie on our fucking totem here. And again, we have so much life regen from both the Consecrate Ground the totem gives us and just that our gear and tree has life regen that we're really not worried. We would have to eat every single ability and half of them probably crit for us to even come close to dying. So it's just a matter of slow and steady, running in circles. And what do we get from Brutus? Anything substantial? Some rawhide gloves, that's about it. Well, they do have life, so we'll take them. Slap on our Quicksilver flask. That's actually really important. So our Quicksilver hit Corrupting Blood, which is great, and Bleeding. This is used to now cleanse bleeds from our system, which is something quite important because sometimes you get blood out and it's just spooky. Prisoner's Gate, which also denotes us grabbing our first support. Support? Aura. Aura, not support. And as we're in hardcore, this is where we're going to keep on for the remainder of the game, and that is Vitality, which does net us a amount of life regeneration. Large amount of flat life regen. So, auras reserve on, in general, your mana pool, and we're going to utilize auras to our benefit by reserving a chunk of our mana pool and giving us a nice little boon. Other auras we have access to at the moment are Clarity for mana regen and Precision, but we're kind of don't need either. We could grab Clarity, but it doesn't really do anything for us. It's kind of pointless. Looking at totems, you can see what things we have for totem support options. There's really not much. There's some totem supports as Spell Totem and things like Flamewood Totem. This one gives our totem Avenging Flame, which is something that there's a build around this in general, but it makes it so when your totems taunt stuff, they do a chunk of the fire damage around them. Spell Totem is something we'll definitely be using in the future as well, because this is going to be revolved around using non-totem specific spells as spells we're using for totems, which might sound complicated, I know. An example of what that would look like is if we had Purifying Flame and Spell Totem hooked up instead of Ellie Prolif and Holy Flame. So you're down a link in a way because you're supporting it by the Spell Totem support, but a lot of spells are way stronger than the base totem spells. So it ends up being more powerful when you see things like this. So now it's still making the Conch Round, which is kind of similar, but it's doing a different thing altogether. In this case, it's the Purifying Flame, so it's shooting it out, has a different modality, a different everything. Not all spells in this game are treated equal. Some spells are just better. So if you find a spell that you think is substantially better, like Arc or like Freezing Pulse, things that may have really good base abilities, it becomes more important. And it becomes something that you can care about if you want to make a different kind of totem build. But especially early on, you're losing an entire link. And that could be devastating early on. Those are some nice boots. No movement speed though, but those are some nice boots. Strong backs. Another nice chunk and notable coming in, Retribution. 132 damage to 153. Big, big, big. So now we have our core Templar tree. This is a very simple Templar core setup that like a lot of people follow pretty much. And from here, we are going to now beeline to Ancestral Bond. So it's going to be cutting up here, going across here, and then grabbing Ancestral Bond. So it'll be like, 6 or 7 levels from now, because we will be doing some quests that give us some passives, but Ancestral Bond is the first huge one. And then it's going to be probably grabbing Primal Manifestation, which is a offensive/defensive totem cluster, mostly to gain access to a totem mastery, of which there are some decent ones. Another Mercenary, it's a striker, and he's got basically nothing. But I kind of want his amulet. He has a fusing. I kind of want that Dex amulet. It also has life. Maybe I'll take the fusing. I'm taking the fusing. I'll take the fusing. We just want to be, wary of his spookiness, but I'm not too spooked because, yeah. Being a totem build in general is similar to being a trap and mine build, similar to being a minion build. We have the benefit of perfect movement. We don't have to concentrate on DPSing. We place our DPS and it does the job for us. That's a huge form of defense that scales with not so much the gear of your character, but the player itself. The better you are at manually dodging, the better you are at reading situations. The more of a benefit having the ability to use your perfect movement, you know, for positioning, for survivability, that the things like the totems, you know, grant you. You could read a situation, you could move around, you could say, oh, I don't want to do that, that's spooky. That's just the benefit of versus playing, you know, up and close and personal melee builder where you have to do damage while concentrating on a boss mechanics. So especially for newer players, I typically recommend things like, you know, those sort of totem things because it just lets you live your life. All right, on to the ship graveyard where we have 3 activities. That's a lot of activities. We have to fight the pirate Fairgraves. We have to go do his little side area. We also have to fight the spooky ghost. All right, we have down here a pirate's treasure. This is an interesting little thing that you can only do once per character in Path of Exile. And that is when you click this, it's going to spawn a unique mod that spawns ghosts, and the ghosts are then going to inhabit the unique mod, augmenting it offensively, but also giving it better loot. So we're going to wait till the ghost occupy it, and this does make it spookier, but we want the chance at extra loot, you know? So it has 2 ghosts inside of it right now, which are making it scarier, but I think we're pretty comfy at a distance here. Just making sure we don't get hit by a barrel or something he's throwing. And yeah, he'll go down no problem, but he's a decent chance of dropping rares and maybe a unique. And he drops us a white iron ring. Ain't that it? Ain't that the breaks right there? Here's the Cavern of Wrath, which is the next zone leading up to the Act Boss Merveil. We're just going to grab this checkpoint, head back to town, and look at this new selection of skill gems we have access to. There are a lot of interesting things in this pile for new skill gems. One of them is Stormburst, which is actually a semi-popular choice when it comes to totems. It was made popular with a interaction regarding decay and how it kind of gave you a weird amount of damage. Just want to showcase what it actually looks like, though. So this is what Stormburst looks like. It's not bad at all. It's like a decent totem option. You could totally use this, you know, if you wanted to. It's a weird one, though. A lot of totems obviously don't operate at their full efficacy until you have certain supports or certain things that really benefit them, but Stormburst totems are absolutely decent if you like them. At the moment, for us, unfortunately, though, it'll still be pretty worse than just using Holy Flame. Oh shit, it's a Mercenary. Maybe some goodies. Oh, it's a Flame Hand. It's our first Flame Hand. Now, Flame Hands are exciting because they're int casters, right? And they're going to have potentially upgrades for us in their gear. This one definitely does not, so we're just going to be taking these alterations, but they could have had an upgrade. Could have. There we go. And here is the ship graveyard cave. Oh, there's a chest, though. A little strongbox action. Click. An eruptor. He's got absolute fucking garbage. That's great. You know, I never turned on Vitality. That's really dumb. I didn't have it on. I was using it, didn't have it on. Just to showcase how much regen it gives me. My regen right now, life regen 22.5, and now it's 35.6. I didn't have that on for some reason. Alright, coming up to the boss of the ship graveyard cave, which is Strangle Charm. Just a random water elemental that drops the item, you know, blocking the slave girl over here, which gives us our piece for the Fairgrave encounter. Oh, look, a blue little chest plate. I think I'm full. Yeah, we are pretty full up here. Let's head to the ship graveyard. This automatically teleports us to Fairgrave, and we get to do this encounter. Then we could go to town and cleanse our inventory before fighting to Merveil. Alright, here's Fairgraves. We're kind of just strong enough now that nothing matters. So, we're just stomping on everything, and that's fine. While we're in town, we're actually going to go over to our Mercenary and dismiss her. Goodbye. You lived a good life. And while we're here, I think we're going to probably replace our LE Prolift support with Combustion. It gives us just more fire damage, ultimately. So it'll yield a better result in damage-wise. Our clear is fine. Really just care about single target. Off to Merveil. She does almost all cold damage. We have 1 Sapphire Ring, which is great. That gives us some cold res. We can actually craft up our Coral Ring there. It's not really worth investing in white gear early on, but, you know, hitting a res here and there on a trans, like, doesn't hurt. These little small amounts of stats do add up, especially early on. People are really, really, really afraid in solo self, and I feel like especially in hardcore, to spend their currency. It makes no sense to me, because who wants, you don't, it's like dying with, you know, a full inventory of shit. I mean, it's just mind-boggling. You don't want to ever die, in hardcore or not. You don't want to die in hardcore especially. You don't want to ever end a season without having, you know, utilized all your assets, especially if you don't play standard. So people who end, like, full leagues and patches that have an inventory, you know, a stash full of goodies but never utilize them, is like, it's like a dragon dying on their hoard of gold. Unrelated, this is our first infamous mercenary. A little bit spooky. Infamous mercenaries most notably always have a unique. Now, this could be pretty substantial. However, looking at them, you should be able to tell what they're holding. I'm pretty sure that's a silver branch he's got. It's not. Sorry, it's a quill rain. Similar, but not the same. So, a little bit spooky. We could snag her. She's using a quill rain. I kind of like the idea of hiring her because she's got a really weird bevy of skills, and I don't really care about what she's using. So let's give her a hire. It does make it a little bit scary, because she is infamous, so she's a little bit stronger. We're just going to be on our toes and try to Frostblink around. Frostblink also, don't forget, puts chilled ground, which is non-negligible as an asset here. And there she is. There she's on our team now. We've got a little friend. You can kind of see her with the quill rain. The saturation of bombardments is, like, really crazy. That's a big life flask. Holy shit. I'm not even going to attack her. I'm just going to walk around just so you can see. It doesn't do, like, a ton of damage, but it is a lot. It's, like, a non-negligible, and it's visually quite stunning. A rare wand, though. That's kind of shit. I think this is going to probably make me lose damage. 173. Yeah, okay. Oh, a Rogue Exile from this box. That's kind of spooky. Rogue Exiles do drop a full set of gear, which is always exciting. And this one dropped a rare shield. Ooh, a sapphire ring. That could be good. Kind of bad, but we'll put it on anyway. I could spend an augment on these rings as well. Strength mana, technically better. Ah, yes, a blade ambusher. These men speak gibberish. And hopefully they have some good loot. They do not. Okay, there he goes. Oh, a treasure chest. I'm sure there's no person guarding it. Oh, wait. It's Ambrosia, daughter of Merveil. You know what? I was going to walk into Merveil, but I did just see a shrine. I think it's too far away, though, to grab and really make any sort of benefit from it. I think it only lasts about 30 seconds. Alright, let's see. If I grab the shrine, I make a run for it. 45 seconds. This is going to be up for, like, fucking 10 seconds during the fight. Not super useful, but... Oh, maybe 30 seconds. Phase 1. It'll be up for Phase 1 of Merveil. Merveil being the big act boss in Act 1 here. She's actually quite easy. I would say she's almost less lethal than Brutus. She just does some cold abilities, and typically you just have enough cold res from sapphire rings as you get to her. She doesn't really do anything. Her Phase 1 is honestly spookier than her Phase 2. Seems a bit backwards, but fine. Oh, 4, 3, 2, 1. There goes our Master Shrine, and there goes Merveil Phase 1. Now Phase 2, she becomes the beast she is. Look at her. She's a big squib. She does less damage, and that's it. That's the entire fight. I feel like they should reverse the phases, but it doesn't make any sense. Act bosses do have a decent chance of dropping some rares, and obviously potentially unique. I think most of our uniques are going to honestly come from infamous mercenaries at this point. But here's hoping. And boom. Nothing. Alright, on to the Southern Forest. And on to Act 2. Guadalupe Barnett is on the move.